Welcome to today's everyday makeup video. You guys, this is going to be for the month of October. I still really don't have a voice, so I hope my deep voice doesn't bother you guys. And we're shooting from a little bit of a different angle today. So in these videos, you guys, I go through the products that I'm testing, which is this bin over here, and then all of my everyday makeup goes over here. So I like to rotate this bin out and really the products that I'm testing, but I like to go through each of them with you guys. Hopefully the lighting is okay. I just turned up the brightness a little bit. I pretty much want to go through like this stuff with you guys, show you what I'm still testing and haven't moved out. Some of these blush in here, which is all that's in this bin currently, are things that were probably in last month's, like September's everyday makeup drawer. But all of this stuff here, I'm basically putting into like a chopping block for my everyday makeup, like rotating through my collection of the things that I think that I might want to get rid of. So essentially, that's how I've been handling these everyday makeup drawers since I started them. So let's start off with this side, which is what I always do, and replenish it with things that I want to continue testing. So I'm actually going to start off with this. This is something that I decluttered in my highlighter declutter, but I've already gotten rid of it like once before. It's the Illuminator from Gucci, and it comes in one shade. This was sold exclusively on their website. This comes in gold, by the way, and I really didn't love it the couple of times that I tried it. But when I was swatching it again in my highlighter declutter video, I realized like maybe this would be really good over a peachy blush, because it really is very skin-like. It's not super metallic looking, which I think maybe I was looking for like when I first tried this, but I'm so much more into more of a very illuminating skin kind of product. And again, maybe it's a shade that I should put over like a peachy blush and it would look really good. So I just recently put this back because I want to test it more before I decide if I actually want to pass it along. I may not want to pass it along. All right, this little section here is where I keep all the blush that I'm currently testing. And a lot of these are still from last month, and I just haven't had a chance to test them. It's honestly been crazy. I don't think I'm going to swatch all of these, but I do want to show them to you guys. So I have the Morphe Hot Shot Blush Drops. This one is in the shade Power Drip. So I have not actually used this since my testing new makeup video. So for sure, this one needs to stay. I say that because I actually think that I did test some of these, but then I did a blush declutter. And honestly, some of them I couldn't remember, so they need to be retested before they go into my speed reviews. The next one is the Flutter Blush from Ensley Rain. They came out with the Flutter and Flourish palette, and this was the Flutter shade, I guess is what it is. Just a powder blush that's magnetic. And this one here is the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Bronzer, and this one is in Kiss of Mauve. This one I do think that I retested in September, but I just can't remember it because I've been testing so many blush. The Hourglass Unreal Liquid Blush. This one is in Vision. I don't love the shade, but so far in using it again, I love this formula. It's really, really nice. And then this one I have not tested again since my testing new makeup video. It's the Cali Ray Cream Blush. Airy Soft Focus Cream Blush in the shade Dope. And I feel like people are liking this, but I didn't initially love it in my testing new makeup video because it reminds me of like the Say Dew blush. It's just kind of like goopy, like see that? It's a cream, so I totally understand, but I didn't find it was like the easiest thing to blend out so far, so we're still testing that guy. And then ColourPop, the new liquid blush from them. This one is in the shade Super Shy. It's called the Weightless Liquid Blush. I actually think I'm really gonna like this, like more so than some of the other ones that are very similar, because this just seemed so much more sheer when I first tested it, like not as intensely pigmented as these blush that have been coming out on these doe foot style applicators. So not like necessarily sheer, it's just not intensely pigment packed. So these are the blush that I currently have in my testing new makeup, and they're gonna stay. You know what? I just figured we'd literally take the rest of the blush that I have ready to go for testing in a bin that I keep that way for stuff that I bought and have tested once but just haven't tested again. I figure we move literally all of these over. There's no sense. I feel like I grab for the ones based on the eyeshadow that I'm wearing for the day, so it really doesn't matter. I don't target a specific formula necessarily. So we'll move all of these over, and I think we will put some more in this bin. I think I'll just create a new drawer for this So the first one I'm going to put in there is the MAC. This is one of the renamed blushes. This one is in Blush Please, I think. Yes, and it's the Glow Play Cushion Blush. But they like added the cushion blush to the name of this. I don't know why. I don't think these were reformulated, which is what I've said, but I do believe that they're just renamed. And I kind of feel like it was marketing so that they could rehype these products because everyone is launching a cream blush. So anyway, also I think they added some shades, like some shade extensions to this. So let's put this in there. And then the AOA Studio, like $2 blush here, Cherry Blossom, Powder Blush, and Kyoko. We will add this one as well. It's kind of a peachy pink shade. It's so creamy though, like when you touch it, it's honestly like such a nice powder formula by Swatch. And the one time that I put it on, I think when I was testing it, it was like one of my favorite try-ons of the day. And then I have a new shade in the Blush Color Infusion in Rosé from Laura Mercier. I just recently picked this up because I wanted to add more shades of this blush to my collection because I like the formula so much. And the shade that I have is Chai, which is a really nice new shade, but I wanted a pinkier shade because I've been reaching for a lot of pinky shades this summer, even though summer is over and we're now into fall. AOA Studio Color Flush Liquid Blush. Guys, the first time I tried this, I hated it. I'm still going to give it a go though. This one is in Cherry Wood. Part of what I don't like is this super tiny doe foot applicator. Just, I don't know. But it almost like didn't blend well, and it was kind of a drier formula, which I typically like, but I mean that it dried fast, and I didn't love the way that it blended in, so. And I also really don't love that shade. But that's totally my fault. I actually forgot to put this back, so let's do that. And then I have another AOA Studio blush. I think this is like just the blush drops. I love Dew blush drops. I don't even want to swatch these because they're so sheer and so liquidy. This one is in the shade Dolly. I'm kind of going by like oldest blush. And then I have the ABH Blurring Serum Blush in Hibiscus, which is like a super duper bright shade. It's very, very bright pink. Here's the shade right here. Interesting little mechanism applicator. Probably won't swatch this one. When I tested this formula in the testing new makeup video, like I loved the formula, but I'm not loving that shade. That's my fault. Another AOA Studio blush, the Venetian Rose Creamy Blush. This one is in Duchess. This is a nice blush for like $2. Maybe it was like $4, I don't know. But this is in a really beautiful, almost like purple shade, and it's in a glass jar, which for its price point is damn good, I think. But this is something that reminds me a lot of the Phytosurgence blush, except kind of more of a soft matte formula. I don't think it's as emollient and radiant. I think that I lied. I'm starting to feel the amount of blush to test in the month and basically need to just use one on my face like twice a day or something. So I think this is the last one. This is the Blush Duo Petal Pop from AOA Studio. It's a cream and a powder duo. This one is in Bouquet, and I really liked this formula the first time that I tested it. It just felt really high-end and it blended really well. I didn't do a terribly good swatch of the powder, but so far, I really enjoyed this product based on memory. All right, you guys, I'm actually just gonna stop there because I feel like that's enough. In addition to the drawer I already showed you guys, that leaves six in here, but let's add to it because I have 3 new blush that I just purchased and I have tested once in a testing new makeup video, and I like to put it in this bin once I'm done with the video to remind me like that's my stash to grab. This was the Chanel Cream to Powder Blush, and this one was in Rose Radiant. I really liked this. I think I'm wearing this like right now, to be honest, but this needs to be tested more. I don't know if I'm going to keep the sleeve. I guess I'll keep it on now, and then once I move it to the drawer, I'll probably get rid of it. This had such a strong scent, I can like smell it now, like super strongly. I have one of the Singe Beauty powder blushes, the Evocative Silk Blush, and this one is in, I'm trying to remember the shade, can't do it, Riveting Rhubarb. Interesting shade name. And then one from Ravi Beauty from Ali Glines. It's the Endless Diffusion Everyday Baked Blush in Paradise. So that'll also go into this bin, and that just makes this like complete now. Everything that I had that was new that I've tested once that needs to go in rotation is now in here. So I'm gonna put this little guy away. I do have lip products that I am still testing or want to test, so let's grab those. Okay, I bought a set of the Summer Fridays. This is like the Neutrals Mini, and I have Vanilla Beige. I don't know which one that is, this one. But iced coffee came out not that long ago. I had iced coffee in my cart, but when I saw that this set came with iced coffee, I really jumped on it because I want to say this was like somewhere in the $20 mark. I really turned down the brightness again. I feel like it was way too high. So I feel like it was a good deal, especially because these minis are amazing to throw in your bag or your car. Like in my car would be great. This one is in brown sugar, which I don't know when they came out with this, but I've only tried vanilla beige. So anyway, I want to put literally all of these in so I can test the scents and flavors. And this one is just straight up vanilla, which I'm such a fan of these kind of scents, like brown sugar, vanilla, yes please. And then iced coffee is this one right here. And then I have vanilla beige, which I have in the full size, so I don't really need to test this one again. But I'll put it up here anyway. Oh, iced coffee smells so good. I already love it. If I like this, then I can buy the full size, but these are honestly quite great for my car and my purse. I love small things like this for my car. I cannot dig in my purse when I'm driving, and often when I'm sitting at a stoplight, like I want to just put something on my lips, so that's why I say my car. Okay, the Tower 28 also released their minis for holiday. This one retailed for $20, and it's the little softies. I also thought this was a great deal, and I had one of these shades at the full size as well, which was this one, Dolce de Leche, and it is fabulous. Like, I think these are better than the Summer Fridays lip butter balms. Look how cute. Bloop. So cute. Look at that. But anyway, these are probably still available at Sephora right now. I thought that they were a really good deal. The scents on these is what makes them like so good, I think. Dolce de Leche, I'm telling you guys, it tastes like a maple donut. Like, I don't know what Dolce de Leche tastes like, but this straight up tastes like a maple donut. And I love maple donuts. So anyway, I'm gonna add these there. This one is in Ubi Vanilla, which I hear, I don't know, good things about, I think. Probably one that I wanted to try also. Let's just put those in their individual containers. And then Watermelon Kiwi. And then this one was new, Sugar Plum. This is like a new flavor or scent or whatever. And this one I actually did try today, and it was just kind of underwhelming. Like, it was kind of sweet, but I don't know what the hell Sugar Plum is supposed to smell like. And the very final lip product that I just got that I'm testing is from Ravi Beauty. This was my first time testing this formula, but this is also one of the 3 new shades. This one is in Peony. I think I specifically got a new shade too, just to test like the new shade in case people were interested in seeing the new shades, as opposed to buying the blush and then buying an old lip color. So anyway, that's also gonna go in here. So I got a ton of lip products to test. I don't often think those Sephora sets are a good deal or like even interesting, but for whatever reason, I really thought these lip products were, just because they get so expensive and I genuinely cannot go through a big one very quickly. It takes me like a year to like exclusively use a lip product and get through it. So those minis are quite cool. All right, let's focus our attention to this side now. I want to go over the stuff at the top and work our way down. So all of this stuff I've had in my everyday makeup rotation for months, and it's time. I'm ready to move it along. I have 2 glosses from Lunar Beauty that have been up here, but I've gotten great use out of them. This beigey brown shade is Aura, and then this one here, which is like a pink glitter, is in Divine. So I actually pulled these out because I thought they were getting a little bit older in my collection, but I think they're fine, and I've used the heck out of them. So I'm gonna put them back. All right, this one next is the Clarins Lip Oil in 08, which I think is strawberry. And I haven't used this a ton, but I used it enough. It's time for it to go back. I really need to rotate my lip products. And I'm also going to be doing a lip product declutter in a very different way, which might not be super popular. But I need to put a lot of them back onto my lips, so I'm going to break it up into categories. And like probably do just lipsticks and then lip balms, lip glosses. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Like 3 different videos of me literally lip swatching them as part of a declutter. I think I'm doing that more for me than actually for views. I think that that's what I want to do as an exercise to really declutter, because part of my problem is I don't get them back on my lips, but I think I like the shade, and it really needs to be lip swatched. It's not just about hand swatched, because that doesn't like tell me the whole picture. Alright, I've been holding this guy up here for a while. This is from Beauty Bakery, and because I now know they're not closing, I don't know what that meant. They got refunded, something like that. Sunrisa Souffle was this. This is just a matte mini, but this is such a good matte formula. It's very creamy, very powdery, not drying at all. So I love this product, and I was like gonna use it before it went bad, but now that I know Beauty Bakery is gonna stay open, I don't feel like I need to keep it up here. Now this final one is from Marc Jacobs. It's one of the Prisma glosses. I can't even remember what this is called. Enamored Dazzling Gloss in Pink Paradise. So as you guys can see, there's not a ton of products left in this. I have had this in my project pan for so long, and I'm still working on it, but it's nearing the end. I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm scraping it at this point. I'm almost done with this. It is literally my favorite gloss in my whole collection, because it's like a peachy pink with blue. So I did recently pick one up from Juvia's Place that I thought had like a blue reflect, and I thought that it would be comparable. So I was trying to find a replacement for this, because I really will be sad when this is gone. That one is the only one that is going to stay. This is also going to stay from Catrice. It's the Multi-Talent Fixing Spray. It's like a matte setting spray. And look how much I have left. And then once this is gone, which will be next month, we'll rotate a new setting spray, because I like to keep one up here. I'm just not a big setting spray user. And then I did a foundation declutter video, and I pulled out a bunch of foundations to retest them to decide which ones are going to stay or go. And I did say, you guys, I was going to put them in a chopping block, and I 100% have started to do that. Like, I pulled out 4 or 5 that I said was going to go in the chopping block, and I already made decisions to keep all of them, I'm pretty sure. Maybe one I decided not to already. Anyway, this is the other one. This is the Diamond Perfector Mineral Wear from Physicians Formula. So many of you guys say you see glitter that comes from this. I literally see nothing, and I've tried. I've almost tried to like imagine it up, like, oh look, there's glitter. I don't see anything, and like, I'm pretty sensitive to that kind of stuff, so I don't know, maybe I just am a crazy person, but I never saw glitter on this, and I actually enjoyed this formula. The thing is, it doesn't last super long, so while it's pretty, I have other pretty foundations that last longer, that look this like similar, comparable on the finish of it, but just last longer. So I am going to declutter this. And then in here, I actually moved into primers from last month. I didn't have my mind wrapped around this one, and I set that in my primer declutter, but then this one I was putting on a chopping block. Now, funny enough, I think that I probably said this one was gonna get like its final test, and that this one I liked just by memory, but in retesting this, the Hourglass number 28 serum is actually a really good hydrator, like sticky primer. It's expensive, and it's comparable to the e.l.f. Power Grip and primers like that, just more expensive, and Hourglass came out with this earlier. I really liked this one, but this one I retested. I swear it just doesn't do enough for me. It might blur me for like a little while, but then after that, I don't notice anything. My skin isn't smoother, my pores aren't more filled. So I'm going to pass this along. I'm actually going to declutter this, because primers, they need to do something for me, like make a huge, significant difference in my makeup application. Otherwise, I don't use them. I don't want to. I don't bother. That's how I feel about primers. Even though some people may love to prime, it's just not my style. So anyway, I didn't love this, so I'm gonna pass this along. But this one I actually really liked. So this one I want to hold on to, but it also needs to go back because I want to rotate in some more. All right, this is where I keep the blush that I put in rotation. Guys, I've had these in here for like 6 months. It's the Honest Beauty Cream Blush in Rose Pink, and then I have the Buxom Water Infused Blush in Dolly. These are still gonna stay. I'm not even gonna add to this. I can't yet because I'm still testing blush. And even though I've been saying that for 6 months, I have slowed down on my buying in the month of September a lot. So I feel like we're getting close. I can actually, maybe next month, start to rotate in my blush. Pretty sure I said that last month, but you know, okay. Alright, this one was where I kept bronzers. These basically all consisted of bronzers that I was like testing as chopping block. And they were mostly my cream and liquids. So that's basically what I did here. The Iconic London, this is like the contour pot, Precision Duo contour pot. And so one side, or one layer of this, is a powder, which still feels like a cream. It's so creamy, but it's so neutral I was just like, do I need this? Like, look how light that is. It's so gorgeous on my skin tone though, like on my face, cheeks, forehead. And then the bottom is a cream, but I've been mushing this thing up, but I love it. I love this. I'm not even reaching for bronzers anymore. Like everything I'm reaching for is like a neutral contour. So this definitely stays, but it's gonna come out of rotation. I use it a bunch. Now this one from Ulta Beauty and this one from Kaja, they're both very similar, and in my bronzer declutter, because I love the bronzers in here more than the other two cheek products, I said in that video that I was going to retest these because I didn't need both. To be honest, you guys, the bronzer I love so much more in the Ulta one. It's just cooler. I'll swatch it here. Like, it's really a good bronzer shade, or really a neutral bronzer shade. And it actually comes with 3 cream products, which to me just makes sense. Where the Kaja is like 2 powder and 1 cream just confuses me. I don't love that. So I'm actually going to hold on to the Ulta, and I'm going to keep it in here. I'm going to get some more use out of it. I only tested it once to realize that I wanted to keep this one, but I didn't really use it, you know. But the Kaja stack, I'm going to let go. It's the Play Bento and Butter Up, and it's just that the bronzer is too warm. The formula is fabulous, but it's just too warm. So yeah, it's not bad. It's just that it's quite warm when it gets to my cheeks. And as I mentioned, it has a powder blush and a powder highlighter, which I actually do like it. I shouldn't say that I just dislike that. The fact is, I actually prefer like a cream bronzer and a powder highlight and blush, but I just feel like it confuses me a little bit, and I don't love the bronzer in here more than the Ulta one, and I don't need both. So this one I am actually going to declutter. And if you know, you know that she's in my project pan right now. She stays in my project pan. I love her. It's the bronzer and blush from The Balm. I've been trying to pan this for a year, but again, I'm rotating so many products. Like, I don't reach for this every single day. If I did, like, for sure I'd probably be able to pan it by now, but I just don't. And honestly, I use so little of this product because it's kind of like deep. Even though it's this red-ish color that looks gorgeous, it's a little bit deep, so I don't use a lot, so therefore it's taking me a lot longer to kind of get through. Anyway, yeah, it's a bronzer and blush. It's really beautiful, you guys. It's an underrated product, and a lot of you have even said like the whole line is pretty ignored now and underrated. Alright, that's that. I don't have any highlighters, but in the bottom drawer were my powders, which I finally rotated in some powders from my collection, and they were basically, these two were chopping block status. I was trying to decide if I wanted to keep them or not, and this from Beauty Bakery, the Flour Better Not Bitter powder, is in my project pan. She's like so hard to pan, okay? So we'll leave her where she is because I love using this like all the time. Like, if I really want a trusty, really good lockdown powder, I reach for this. This one here from One Size is the pink powder, Ultra Pink, and it's just the ultimate setting powder. These minis though, I absolutely hate the little sifter. It's so hard to get out, so I took it out, which I think I'm gonna probably do with all my powders. I don't really like the sifter, to be honest. The pink is beautiful, but the powder is not overly setting. It's not overly mattifying. It doesn't overly set my makeup. I just feel like One Size does such a good job with products that are good for people with oily skin. This was not as strong as I would have anticipated it to be. It's not as strong as this or some of my other powders. Honestly, I just don't know. Like, I like it. It's very blurring. I just think it would be even better for someone with like normal skin. I don't think this is a combo skin made product. Having said that though, I don't feel ready to let it go. It's this weird feeling. I don't know why. It's also not like super finely milled. It's kind of a thick powder. So yeah, it's just not overly mattifying. Anyway, I think that I want to test the other pink one that I have from Moira Beauty before I make a final decision on this. So this one's just going to go back. That's all that's going to happen to it. Now, the last powder in here is from Givenchy. This was the Prisme Libre in Satin Blanc, shade 2. I just told you guys I hate these little sifters, and Givenchy's you cannot take out. So I have a hard time getting a lot of product out. Now, this is a really nice powder for like someone with dry to normal skin. It's really finely milled. It's very blurring. It's just not overly mattifying for me. And honestly, the really only time I grab for a powder is like when I'm trying to mattify the crap out of myself or really make my makeup last, because it's just the way it goes with combo oily skin. For me personally, those are the kind of powders that I reach for, not really soft powders like this all the time. I was not overly impressed by this. Like, as far as past its blurring qualities, just not overly impressed. But again, this is kind of one of those, I'm really just not ready to let go. I'm just not. Partly because of the price point, partly because it's a popular product, and also partly because it's not bad. It's quite beautiful in the skin. It's just not something I want for locking down my makeup the way that I typically use powder. All right, we are done with all of this stuff, you guys. We need to do the shop my stash portion. I'm going to put back the stuff that we're putting away. I'm going to declutter the stuff that we chose to declutter today. And then we're going to go through each of my drawers for the products that I need to replenish for the shop my stash portion. You know what I just realized? There's actually a product in the bottom of this. I do have a highlighter. I didn't even know. This just like totally got lost. It's the AOA Studio Velour highlighter. Let's swatch it together. Ooh, it's like a cream. It's chunky though. It's like purple. It's kind of iridescent. Kind of glittery. My cat's like, let me in. Totally didn't even realize that I had this. Still haven't tested it. I don't even know if I've even put this on once, because I bought several highlighters in my haul of AOA Studio and my video that I did on them, and I couldn't test every single thing. So this one I may not have even tested. So I'm actually gonna put it up here so it doesn't get lost again. All right, now on to the shop my stash portion. Okay, I just decided to kind of sit behind the camera. I don't have a ton of primers. I would like to do this one when it's a little bit drier out, and we're not there yet. So I'm gonna leave that one for now. I am actually going to pull this one out. I did say in my primer declutter video that one of the things I wanted to do was like test this again. It's the Secure the Sweat. So this is meant to prevent you from sweating, make your makeup a little bit more waterproof, not necessarily like prevent you from getting oily. So I want to test this again because I preferred this one so much more, the oil sucker. So this one, does it even fit anywhere else? No. I've downsized my primer collection a lot. So anyway, this one was on the chopping block, as I mentioned before. So we're going to put that in there, and then I'm going to throw the Hourglass one back. Basically in like the hydrating section. This is like all that I have that's hydrating. This one right here is a sunscreen that I'm going to use next as a skincare step. I'm working on the e.l.f. one right now, but once that one is done, I'm going to take this one out and use it. I have other face sunscreens at the current moment, but this is like half gone. I've already used a ton of this, and it's a newer product to me. So you can see, like, I really just don't have a ton of primers. I just don't use them very often. And then the cat. And then I'm going to take the mini of the Milk Makeup Pore Eclipse Mattifying Primer. I just don't feel like the light is like super bright in here. But anyway, hopefully you can see this pretty well. I would like to use this one also. I don't think this is in the chopping block because this is really like the only three like kind of mattifying, like not hydrating primers that I have. I shouldn't call them mattifying. So anyway, I'm going to pull this one out. And that's it for the primers that I'm going to pick. Let's actually move on to foundations because I think there's a couple in there that are still meant to be on the chopping block. Oh, I forgot. We need to do bronzers first. I went through and retested like all of my liquids and creams, so I feel good about keeping all of those. Like there's nothing in the cream and liquids that I want to get rid of, but I want to retest some of the powder formulas, and I know which ones I want to grab actually. Back here, all the way back here, because I was actually able to put all of my creams, liquids, and powders in one single drawer. You guys, I haven't been able to do that in several years. So this one from Victoria Beckham, I feel like has gotten hard panned on me, so I'm going to take like some Scotch tape and see if I can't pick up some of that hard pan and just like get rid of it. But this is not a formula that I love because I feel like it's hard panned some time ago. So I want to try and get rid of the hard pan and then retest this. It just wasn't a formula that I was loving. And then I'm thinking I'm going to take the Tom Ford out too, because you know what, this is like speckled with little things as well. I don't feel like the camera is focusing. Anyway, I think this is another one that I'm gonna retest, and I only have the Ulta one, like as far as retesting things. So we'll do this one, and then finally the one from Guerlain. This is like an all over cheek product, but the same thing here. It's like kind of hard panned on me a little bit. Wow, this does not want to focus at all, does it? There we go. Anyway, I think I'll try and use this again. I may not even keep this, to be honest. Like, all three of these I feel like are luxury products that aren't my favorites, even though they're very popular. I think I'm gonna chopping block all of those. So now we can move on to foundations. I got rid of so many. This thing was full, it was over full. And I retested a bunch of these already and decided which ones were gonna stay and which ones were gonna go. I think the last one that I said I was gonna retest was one of my favorites, once upon a time. The Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish. It was just that this shade, for whatever reason, like it in 3, it was looking a little oxidized the last time I used it, which Charlotte Tilbury base products tend to oxidize on me. I have noticed that. So if it's just oxidized too much, I'm going to pass it along, and I want to retest it. It's one of the ones that I didn't get to retest. So that'll go. You know what? The final one I'm going to take is the Urban Decay Face Bond. It's in shade 6. I'm going to retest this for one reason specifically, because if I can't get away with the shade, I'm going to finally get the LA Girl white pigment to mix in with this. I don't know why. I'm sure it's like all of $8 and I've just never done it. And so when a shade hasn't worked for me, I've literally just passed the formula along, but that's so stupid. I know it's dumb, okay? We don't need to make it make sense. It just doesn't. So anyway, I think that that's the reason I'm going to pull this one out, just to retest that shade. And that's it, you guys. I feel like I've downsized this. I could see myself testing more, but at the current moment, I can't see myself getting rid of any more. And by the way, if you guys watch my foundation declutter, I had 2 of the Dior, like on the chopping block, the one that was in my Project Pan of the Backstage Face and Body and then the reformulation. And I tested both and I was like, nah, they'll both stay. Like, they're both good. And this might go bad, and so then I'll have the backup. So I did actually decide to hold on to both of those. This is good. This is very good. Alright, as far as concealers, you guys, I don't take any into rotation. I don't feel like I need to. I feel like this camera is super blurry. It's just focusing on like what's close up. Anyway, I don't feel like I need to pull in any in rotation, but I have decided that I'm going to declutter one because I did retest it. This one from Tower 28. What is this one called? The Serum Concealer. Every time I use it like I normally use a concealer, it creeps up. It just like creeps into my lines, my fine lines. So yeah, I don't enjoy it. And the shade was already way too dark for me to begin with. So I was trying to like spot conceal with it, but it wasn't working. So I'm just gonna let it go. It just needs to go. I'm gonna declutter it. You know what? And I've actually decided this one from RMS PD, like it's good, but it's old. It is old, I'm not kidding. Like it's several years old. It's like sweating right now because it's very hot up here, but I used it recently and I realized that I don't love this formula all the time. I think it's good for spot concealing, which I just don't even do anymore. Like I don't really have much to spot conceal. And I used it under my under eyes and all it did was just creep into my fine lines and it looked heavy. So I didn't enjoy this. Again, great for spot concealing, but I don't do that. So I'm going to pass this along. I'm going to declutter it. All right, let me think about this. I do actually want to retest the Say concealer, slip tint concealer, and I'm surprised this hasn't leaked. Like all my other Say products just leak of oil, but I don't know if this is like my favorite formula. And I did say in my declutter video for my concealers and primers that I was going to retest all of this stuff, and I did. Like all the things that I wanted to retest, you guys, I got rid of so many concealers. This was full, like every row, and then I was probably stacking. So I really narrowed this down to my faves, and this one is not a fave. This just needs to be retested. So I am actually going to pull this out for everyday makeup. It's like probably the last one. I retested all of these and I feel good about them. The only one that I might pull out like next month is the one from Colfi because the shade is just too dark. I do love this formula. All right, and that's it for that. I'm actually going to get down here for powders. Some of these definitely need to go into the chopping block. So actually, let's just put these two back. I don't even know what's in camera and frame or not. The cat, she's hilarious. I think I'm gonna put this one in rotation actually. This one is from Supergoop and they don't even like make it in this packaging anymore. It's the Invisible Setting Powder with SPF 45. I really do like this. It's quite mattifying. So let's pull this one in just to use it. It's not really like on the chopping block, but I am gonna pull in the Moira Beauty pink powder too. And now that I remember what the one size is like, this one I'll just do to compare. Like, the cat is literally rubbing up on everything. Yeah, I think that's good. All right, finally, I'm gonna pull in a pressed powder. I'm gonna do it. The one from Laura Mercier. This one is like the translucent, real flawless, luminous perfecting powder. You should see how I'm squatting on the floor. I just don't know if I need this because it's kind of luminous, because I have this one from Hourglass that's kind of similar. So yeah, I'm gonna retest this one. We'll pull this in as a chopping block. It's not a bad powder. I actually really like it. I need one of those. Truly, honestly, I just don't reach for it enough. So that's that. I am really sorry that you guys can hear the fan. It is so hot when I film up here in the evenings that I do have to have it running. So I'll try and be quick in this section. Here are all my highlighters. I've done all of my testing of all of my cream and liquids, so I feel good about it. So now it's just about rotating some and getting more use out of them. We can kind of chopping block this one. The one from L'Oreal, this one is in the shade Champagne Glow. We'll pull this one in. I feel like I'm still chopping blocking these, even though I just did a highlighter declutter. The Melt Digital Dust Highlighter in Stargazer. Let's just pull this one in because I haven't used it in a while. The one from Cali Ray, the highlight in Starlight Beach. Yeah, it's like a putty and it's absolutely gorgeous. So we shall pull that in, and that's it. I think that's good for highlighters as far as like rotating my collection. I have the other one that I'm testing plus these three, so that's good. Okay, now we need to move on to lip products. This is a dreaded category for me. You guys, I just don't know. I don't even know what it is that I'm looking for. Like, do I want glosses? What shades do I even want? This is just one of 2 drawers. This is where I keep a lot of my bullets. I just haven't done a declutter with this and a try on of these. So I literally just can't tell you like where my mind is at. I think I'm gonna hold off on this particular section until I do that try on and declutter video. I mean, I have a ton of lip products up there that I'm testing. Like, I'm totally fine with a lip liner and a balm. So I think I'm just gonna leave it for now. Let's go ahead and put the stuff that we shopped into the drawers. Let's just put this back. I don't really need to do this in any particular order, so I'm just going to throw the foundations up here. I will probably also throw the Say concealer up here as well, and then primers. I like to put the bronzers that I'm testing in here. We'll move highlighters to this drawer, and then the powders will go at the bottom. Okay, this system is working. And that's it, you guys. We have packed the left side. I really still feel like I'm doing that thing where I'm testing products that I'm unsure about. I don't feel like I'm going for the things that I love still. I feel as though I have this month, October, and probably November where I still do that. And then I'll get to a point where I'm rotating the things that I absolutely love. The only thing I use on a pretty frequent basis that I absolutely love are probably 3 things. My powders, lip products, and then concealers. I use pretty much only the concealers that I love, because if I don't love them, I know pretty much right away and they leave. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys are not currently subscribed, I'd love to see you subscribe so you can stick around. I'm out of here, and I hope to catch y'all in my next video. Bye guys.